What's up, Bieber Beat fans? Get ready for a rapid-fire news blast. Manvir Singh is back with India, and he's crediting some serious influence for his incredible comeback on the field. We're diving deep into his journey and what it means for the national team. Next up, we're heading to the Supreme Court, where a critical bail hearing is set for Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam, and Gulfisha Fatima in connection with the 2020 Delhi riots. This is a case with massive implications, and we've got all the details you need to know. Then, we're shifting gears to a fascinating legal discussion involving gubernatorial powers and the assent to bills. The Supreme Court is weighing in on a critical point of constitutional law that could set new precedents. You won't want to miss this deep dive. And finally, we've got an inspiring story of a player relishing his return to the national team, fueled by his coach's guidance. Stick around for all these stories and more. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification bell is on. Manvir Singh's triumphant return to the Indian squad. Manvir Singh is on fire, and he's not holding back about his recent comeback with the Indian national football team. After a stint with Jamshedpur FC, Singh represented India in the CAFA Nations Cup 2025, securing a bronze medal and playing a significant role in all 3 matches. He described the experience as unbelievable and a huge confidence booster, stating, "To represent India is always a proud moment." Singh logged approximately 144 minutes on the field during the tournament, emphasizing his desire to contribute energy and secure more opportunities for the nation. He's particularly vocal about the profound influence of Khalid Jamil, his former coach at Jamshedpur FC and now the head coach of the Indian national team. "Khalid sir has been a massive influence on me," Singh shared, highlighting Jamil's trust and clear coaching philosophy of hard work and team first. This connection feels like a natural continuation of the trust Jamil showed him at the club level, making the presence of an Indian coach at the helm even more motivating. As India gears up for the Asian Cup qualifiers, Manvir Singh's steady progress underscores Jamshedpur FC's talent development and the rising prominence of Indian coaches in top-tier football. Audience impact. Fans are celebrating Manvir's return, praising his dedication and the positive impact of Indian coaches. The football community is buzzing about the national team's potential with this blend of talent and experienced leadership. Stay tuned, because the legal landscape is heating up with a major Supreme Court hearing that could reshape justice. And you won't believe the latest twist in a high-profile case that's gripping the nation. Supreme Court gears up for pivotal 2020 Delhi riots bail hearing. The nation's highest court is set to hear critical bail pleas from activists Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam, and Gulfisha Fatima this Friday. These pleas challenge a Delhi High Court decision that denied them bail in a complex conspiracy case linked to the devastating 2020 Northeast Delhi riots. The activists, facing charges under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, and various sections of the Indian Penal Code, have been in jail for over 5 years, accused of being masterminds behind the violence that claimed 53 lives and injured hundreds during protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act and National Register of Citizens. The Delhi High Court had previously refused bail, stating that conspiratorial violence under the guise of protests cannot be permitted, and that the accused were not entitled to parity with co-accused who had been granted bail on other grounds. The court emphasized that while the right to protest is fundamental, it must be orderly, peaceful, and within the bounds of the law, warning that unfettered exercise of this right could damage the constitutional framework and impact law and order. The Supreme Court's upcoming hearing will scrutinize these arguments and the prolonged incarceration of the accused. Audience impact. Legal experts and civil rights advocates are closely watching this case, with discussions intensifying online about due process and the interpretation of anti-terror laws. Public sentiment remains divided, reflecting the sensitive nature of the events. But the legal drama doesn't end there. We're also examining the significant role of a governor in legislative processes and what the courts are saying about it. Plus, get ready for another inspiring comeback story that's making waves. Governors' assent powers under scrutiny in landmark legal debate. A crucial legal debate is unfolding as the Supreme Court weighs in on the powers of a governor regarding assent to bills. The Solicitor General has strongly asserted that under Article 200 of the Constitution, a governor possesses the authority to withhold assent to a bill, and that courts are generally precluded from issuing a mandamus in such situations. This stance highlights a significant point of contention regarding the balance of power between the executive and legislative branches, and the extent of judicial review in matters of gubernatorial discretion. The case delves into the constitutional framework governing the relationship between the governor's office and the legislative assembly, particularly when disagreements arise over proposed legislation. The court's deliberations could set a vital precedent for future legislative processes and the interpretation of the governor's role in assenting to or withholding approval of bills passed by state legislatures. Audience impact. Constitutional scholars and legal practitioners are keenly analyzing the arguments, anticipating potential shifts in the understanding of federal-state legislative dynamics. Public discourse is focusing on the implications for legislative autonomy and governance. And speaking of legal battles, we're circling back to that high-profile case with more on the Supreme Court's upcoming review. Plus, don't miss the incredible story of a footballer relishing his national team return. Supreme Court to hear crucial bail pleas in 2020 Delhi riots case. Mark your calendars, because the Supreme Court is slated to hear the bail pleas of activists Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam, and Gulfisha Fatima on September 12th. This hearing is critical as it concerns the UAPA case linked to the alleged conspiracy behind the February 2020 Delhi riots. The activists sought relief from the Delhi High Court, but their pleas were denied on September 2nd. The High Court had emphasized that conspiratorial violence, even under the guise of protest, cannot be permitted, citing concerns for law and order. The bench, comprising Justices Aravind Kumar and N.V. Anjaria, will now consider the appeals against this High Court order. Khalid, Imam, and others face charges including criminal conspiracy and sedition, accused of masterminding the riots that resulted in 53 deaths and over 700 injuries. The High Court had previously rejected bail for 9 individuals, including Khalid and Imam, stating they did not deserve parity with others who had been granted bail. The court also noted that while peaceful protest is a constitutional right, it is not absolute and must remain within legal boundaries, adding that unfettered protest could damage the constitutional framework and public order. Audience impact. This hearing is drawing significant attention from human rights organizations and legal commentators, who are keen to see how the Supreme Court will approach the complex issues of bail, conspiracy charges, and the right to protest. Social media is abuzz with discussions on the case's implications. But before we wrap up, we've got one more incredible comeback story that proves perseverance always pays off. Stick around. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. Manvir Singh is back and shining with the Indian football team, fueled by his coach's trust. The Supreme Court is reviewing key bail pleas in the 2020 Delhi riots case involving Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam. We've also explored the crucial legal debate surrounding gubernatorial assent powers. Finally, we celebrated another inspiring comeback story in sports. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Bieber Beat for more updates, smash that notification bell, leave your comments below, and follow us on all our socials. We'll see you in the next one.